in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. It was a crisp December evening in 2013, and 12-year-old Ethan Parker had just emptied his piggy bank to buy his mom a Christmas gift. He was standing in a crowded Los Angeles toy store when Keanu Reeves walked in, and everything changed. Ethan had been saving every coin he could find for months. His mom, Claire, a single mother, had been his rock ever since his dad left when Ethan was just a toddler. At 34, Claire worked two jobs, waitressing during the day and cleaning offices at night, to provide for Ethan. Money was always tight, but Claire never let Ethan feel it. She made their tiny one-bedroom apartment feel like a castle, with her warmth, laughter, and endless love. Ethan knew his mom loved Christmas, even if they never had much to spare for decorations or gifts. This year he was determined to give her something special, something that would make her smile in a way he hadn't seen in a long time. He had seen her pause in front of a delicate snow globe in the shop window weeks ago, the kind with swirling glitter and a cozy winter scene inside. She'd admired it briefly, then walked away saying, "Maybe someday." That someday was today. Ethan had counted out $17.36, all in coins and crumpled dollar bills, and walked 2 miles to the store after school. His heart raced as he picked up the snow globe and headed to the counter, hoping it wouldn't be more expensive than the tag he had memorized weeks ago. But when he reached the cashier, his face fell. "I'm sorry, kid," the cashier said almost apologetically. "The price went up last week. It's $22 now." Ethan's stomach dropped. He emptied his pocket, adding a few more coins to the pile, but it still wasn't enough. Desperate, he turned to leave, holding back tears. That's when he heard a deep voice behind him. "Hey, let me help with that." Ethan turned around and froze. It was Keanu Reeves. He recognized the actor immediately, even with the scruffy beard and baseball cap. The cashier looked equally stunned, his mouth hanging open. Keanu crouched down to Ethan's level, a soft smile on his face. "You buying this for someone special?" Ethan nodded shyly. "For my mom. She works a lot. She really liked it when we saw it before." Keanu's eyes softened, and he stood up, pulling out his wallet. "Tell you what," he said, handing a crisp $50 bill to the cashier. "This one's on me, and give the kid some change, okay?" Ethan didn't know what to say. He managed a quiet, "Thank you," but Keanu wasn't done. "You know, I've got a soft spot for moms. She sounds pretty amazing. What's her name?" "Claire," Ethan said. Keanu's smile widened. "Well, Ethan, let's make sure Claire has the best Christmas ever." He looked around the store for a moment, then turned back to the boy. "Mind if I help you pick out something else for her?" Ethan blinked in disbelief. "Really?" And just like that, the two of them started wandering the aisles together. Ethan couldn't believe how kind and genuine Keanu was, asking questions about Claire, what she liked, and even about Ethan's favorite things. But as they walked through the store, something else started happening. People began to notice. Customers whispered, and some discreetly pulled out their phones. By the time Ethan and Keanu made it to the checkout counter with a second gift, a cozy scarf Keanu insisted was perfect for Claire, a small crowd had formed. Keanu seemed unfazed. He paid for everything, handed the bag to Ethan, and crouched down again. "Now, promise me one thing," he said. Ethan nodded eagerly. "When you give this to her, tell her it's not just from you." Keanu said, "Tell her it's from someone who thinks she raised an amazing kid." Tears welled up in Ethan's eyes as he clutched the bag tightly. "I will," he whispered. But just as Keanu was about to leave, something unexpected happened. A man in the crowd called out, "Hey Keanu, you're a legend, man." A ripple of applause broke out, and someone shouted, "Can we get a photo?" Keanu smiled politely but looked down at Ethan. "Want to help me escape?" he joked, winking. Before Ethan could answer, another voice chimed in. A woman, middle-aged, dressed in a sharp suit, stepped forward looking straight at Keanu. "Mr. Reeves, she said, her tone firm but not unkind. "Can I have a word?" Keanu's expression changed, slightly guarded but curious. He glanced at Ethan and said, "Hang tight for a second, okay?" The woman pulled Keanu aside, speaking in hushed tones. Ethan couldn't hear what they were saying, but he noticed Keanu's face shift from surprise to a thoughtful frown. And then, to Ethan's shock, Keanu turned back toward him, this time with a look of resolve. "Ethan," he said, "how about we make this an even better day for your mom?" Ethan blinked. "What do you mean?" Keanu grinned. "You'll see, but I'm gonna need your help." What happened next would change Ethan and Claire's lives forever. But at that moment, all Ethan knew was that his favorite movie star had just made the hardest, loneliest Christmas he'd ever faced feel like the beginning of something magical. Keanu knelt down again, his face serious now, yet warm. "Listen, Ethan," he began. "Sometimes people come into your life at just the right moment. I think this is one of those moments. Trust me?" Ethan nodded, unsure of what Keanu meant, but already feeling a strange sense of comfort in his presence. The woman in the suit, who Ethan later learned was Keanu's assistant, whispered something to him again. Keanu glanced at her, gave a small nod, then turned back to Ethan. "Before we go," Keanu said, his voice soft but firm, "tell me something about your mom. What's her dream? What does she love most in the world apart from you?" Ethan hesitated, thinking. His mom never really talked about herself much. Her life had always revolved around making sure Ethan was okay. But there was one thing he remembered, one thing she'd said once late at night when she thought he wasn't listening. "She always wanted to be a teacher," Ethan said quietly. "She loves kids, but she couldn't finish college 'cause of me." His voice broke slightly, guilt creeping in. "She says it's okay, but I know she wishes she could have done it." Keanu's face softened, and for a moment he seemed lost in thought. Then he smiled. That same kind smile Ethan had seen in movies, the kind that made you believe everything might just turn out okay. "Let's make something happen for her, yeah?" Ethan didn't know what that meant, but before he could ask, Keanu gently took his hand and led him out of the store. By now, the crowd was buzzing, some filming, others calling out. But Keanu expertly waved them off, keeping Ethan close by his side. When they stepped outside, the cold air hit Ethan's face, and he realized how far he was from home. "I should probably go back," he mumbled, clutching the bag with the snow globe and scarf. "My mom gets worried if I'm late." Keanu crouched again, meeting Ethan's eyes. "Do you trust me to get you home safely?" Ethan nodded, his faith in the actor growing with every moment. Keanu pulled out his phone, made a quick call, and minutes later, a sleek black SUV pulled up to the curb. As they drove through the city, Ethan couldn't help but open up to Keanu about his life. He told him about the nights his mom would come home exhausted, but still make time to sit with him and read, about the way she always smiled even when things were hard, and about the little Christmas traditions they kept alive, like watching old movies together and decorating a tiny fake tree they'd had since he was 5. Keanu listened intently, nodding and occasionally asking questions. When Ethan mentioned how much his mom loved Keanu's movies, especially The Lake House, the actor chuckled. "Well, let's see if we can make our next favorite memory even better," he said cryptically. Finally, the SUV pulled up in front of Ethan's apartment complex. Keanu walked him to the door, crouching one last time to hand him the bag. "Now remember," he said, "this isn't just about the gifts. It's about letting your mom know how much she means to you. She sounds like an incredible woman." Ethan nodded, his heart swelling with gratitude. He wanted to say so much, to thank Keanu, to tell him how much this meant. But before he could, Keanu added, "Oh, and one more thing. I'll be back tomorrow. Tell her to keep her afternoon free." With that, Keanu ruffled Ethan's hair and walked back to the waiting car, leaving Ethan standing there, stunned and curious. Inside the apartment, Ethan placed the gifts under their tiny tree and waited anxiously for his mom to come home. When she did, Her face lit up at the sight of the snow globe. "Ethan," she whispered, tears welling up. "How did you—" But before Ethan could explain, he blurted out, "Mom, you need to stay home tomorrow. Someone special is coming." Claire looked at him, confused but smiling. "Ethan, what's this about?" "You'll see," Ethan said, grinning despite himself. The next day arrived slowly, the hours dragging as Ethan waited. Claire, still puzzled, stayed home, cleaning and tidying the small apartment despite Ethan's protests that it didn't matter. At exactly 2 p.m., there was a knock at the door. Ethan rushed to open it, his heart racing. Standing there, as promised, was Keanu Reeves, holding a large envelope in one hand and a bouquet of simple white lilies in the other. Claire froze, her eyes wide as she recognized him. "Oh my God," she whispered, her hand flying to her mouth. Keanu stepped inside with a warm smile. "You must be Claire," he said. "Ethan's told me so much about you." Claire blinked, her cheeks flushing. I don't understand. What's happening?" Keanu handed her the flowers first, then the envelope. "Sometimes amazing people like you deserve a little help," he said gently. Claire opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a full scholarship application, already completed in her name, for a local community college's teaching program. Along with it was a letter from Keanu himself, offering to cover any remaining costs, tuition, books, childcare, everything. Claire's legs nearly gave out as tears streamed down her face. She looked at Keanu, then at Ethan, who was beaming. I don't know what to say," she whispered. Keanu smiled. "Say yes. The world needs more people like you teaching the next generation." Claire pulled Ethan into a tight hug, her tears soaking his shoulder. "Thank you," she finally managed, looking at Keanu. "I don't know why you'd do this for us, but thank you." Keanu shook his head. "Your son's the real hero here. He loves you so much. It's impossible not to want to help." The moment hung heavy with emotion, and for a while the three of them simply talked about dreams, struggles, and the unexpected kindness of strangers. But deep in Ethan's heart, he knew this was just the beginning of something much bigger. Keanu stayed a little longer that day, sitting at their tiny kitchen table and sipping tea that Claire nervously offered him. The apartment was modest with peeling wallpaper and second-hand furniture, but it was filled with warmth, laughter, and the kind of love that money could never buy. Keanu seemed to notice everything: the small pile of Ethan's schoolwork on the table, the neatly folded laundry Claire hadn't yet put away, and the tiny, well-loved Christmas tree in the corner. "You've done an amazing job, Claire," Keanu said after a while, his voice calm and sincere. "Ethan's proof of that." Claire smiled, though her cheeks were still damp from tears. "I've just been doing my best. He's my whole world." She paused, glancing at the envelope on the table. "But this is more than I ever could have dreamed of. I don't even know how to thank you." Keanu leaned back slightly, folding his arms in thought. "You don't need to thank me," he said. "Just promise me you'll believe in yourself as much as Ethan believes in you. That's all the thanks I need." The words struck Claire deeply, and she looked at Ethan, her heart swelling with pride. "I'll try," she whispered. "I really will." As Keanu stood to leave, he turned to Ethan with a playful grin. "You take care of your mom, okay? She's one of the good ones." Ethan nodded, his chest puffing out with a sense of purpose. "I will." Keanu gave them both one last warm smile, then stepped out the door, disappearing down the hallway like a quiet guardian angel. That night, as Ethan and Claire sat on the couch together, staring at the glowing lights of their little Christmas tree, Claire couldn't stop smiling. She held the